question for Marty. Todd, did you leave, was that the game plan to leave the offense in for almost the entire first half starters?
Yeah, both of them. You know, we said we were going to do that going in regardless because those guys needed to play and they needed to get some time.
Tom, what were your impressions of the first team defense against their starters?
We busted the coverage. The first play, they got them down there. And I was, you know, other than that, I thought they got going a little bit. You know, they got the ball on the 3. I thought they should have kept them out of there. We got them the 3rd down, but the one big play they got to the fullback, we busted the coverage. Other than that, the tackling was a lot better. You know, they played the run a lot better. We still got a ways to go, but I thought they took a step today.
What happened on the 2-yard touchdown accuracy? Looked like Marty.
That was a bust, too. That was a bust in communication, and it was miscommunication. There was 17, to be exact, and you know you ain't gonna win no ball games having 17 penalties. Effort was great, the penalties were terrible. You know that was way more than imagined. We got better in some areas, we got worse there. We got to clean that up.
Todd, is it hard to the issues were with your starting?
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
What do you think some of the issues were with the starting offense tonight, in particular the protection?
I just think they got started slow. You know, they hadn't played together in a while. They got started slow. They needed to play because they needed time to figure everything out, and luckily they figured some things out, and they got a little better as it went.
Todd, like you said, both sides of the ball ultimately did sort of figure it out along with the starters, but is it hard to judge because they weren't going against starters when they...
No, we were going to play regardless. I think for me it was more looking at our teams trying to gel than looking at who we were playing against. I know it's a preseason game, and having them only play a series last week, you know, they needed to play together to try to gel, so we weren't worried about who we were going against. I know it's preseason. We were doing it for our sake and not theirs.
What did you see from Fitzpatrick?
He was steady. You know, he was steady. I thought they knocked a lot of balls down. I got to see the film to see whether that was quarterback related or offensive line related. But he was poised. He knew where to go with the football, and he did a good job.
You guys were so run heavy for the first quarter and a half. Is that just because you wanted Ryan to get in a rhythm with the receivers, or was it really, I think, the 2-to-1 pass runs?
No, we were kind of taking what they gave us, you know, and for the plays and audibles had to count, you know, the runs were more prevalent than the passes.
Did the light come on a little bit for Leonard Williams?
I hope so. He had 2 big plays, you know. You saw the big plays, but I got to look at the film to see how he did on every other play. But he did make 2 big plays and kind of turned the light on for everybody.
Bryce looked a lot more composed out there tonight. What was the biggest difference for him from last week?
For me, he was a little more poised, you know, and that's the progress we're trying to get with him. Get better every week, a little bit better every week, and he got better from last week to this week. So hopefully he'll keep moving forward.
Todd, do you have any information on the injuries?
Curley, concussion, as far as I know. Shaq Thompson has a back sprain. Eskridge came out with a concussion. There was one more. I'm trying to think. Richardson had the concussion. Ejelana had a knee. I'm trying to think. There was one more guy. Lorenzo was okay. Phillips had the ribs. He had a rib injury. And off the top of my head, those are the ones I can remember.
Todd, on first glance, did you think that Revis helped hold you on the end zone?
He didn't hold them. I thought their feet got tripped up, and then, you know, the angle where the referee was at, and I could see where he threw it because he was behind him. So, you know, if the ref throws a flag, it's a penalty. If he doesn't, it's not. I don't think he held them, but I thought their feet got tangled.
Todd, do you think that Lennox sack safety contributed to the momentum shift that the team experienced in the game?
I thought it woke the guys up a little bit. You know, he's playing with a lot of energy, and I think after that, guys started playing. You know, having not played in a while, having them guys get together, they got to understand what game situations are like, but we can't start that slow.
What do you chalk the penalties up to, Todd?
Just holding, just immaturity, a lot of it aggressiveness, over-aggressiveness, but they got to be cleaned up because we won't win like that.
But the second week in a row, the other team on offense went right down the field against the first team defense. Is that disappointing to you, and what happened this week?
No, it's not. Like I told you, they busted the coverage and they had miscommunication. So that was the one play that got them down the field, and we understood what happened there, and they cleaned it up.
Can you afford to have those mistakes on defense?
No, you cannot.
Is it a learning learning curve issue as they're getting comfortable to in your system in their first summer in it?
No, that wasn't learning curve. That was just communication.
This is kind of the time to get that out of guys' systems, so to speak, right?
I mean, that's what preseason's for. You don't want them, and you know, you can learn from them. Hopefully we learned from this one. We learned something last week about tackling. Hopefully we'll learn from penalties this week. And we got to get better every week, and we got to progress next week. Hopefully the penalties go down. We're going to work our asses off on it, and we'll go from there.
You saw a lot of the Chan kind of use a lot of 4 and 5 wide formations, a lot of empty sets tonight. Is that going to be a glimpse of what you think this offense might look like this year?
A little bit was scheme, and a little bit was just throwing it. You know, we had a lot of tight ends down, so we're trying to steal some plays here and there. And Q was the biggest guy, so he got to do some of the blocking assignments.
Did you like what you saw chemistry-wise between Fitzpatrick and Marshall?
They were getting better as the game went, you know. I thought Fitz made some plays. Brandon's a big guy. When he's covered, he's not covered, so hopefully that can work out for us.
Which injury do you think is the most serious of the injuries that you mentioned?
I couldn't tell you yet. When I go back in and get a better update, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more.
Did you say Eskridge had a concussion?
Yes.
Is that a really big problem since he had those issues in Syracuse?
We got to see how serious it is first, so I won't know until I go back in there.
So it's 3 guys with concussions.
Yes.